Right, a very good morning to you. I hope we're all fine. It's Friday, it's the 2nd of August 2024. We're here to take a look at the weather prospects for Kent and also the UK for the next 10 days. We'll start where we usually do, and that's looking at the mean central England temperature. And July finished on 16.3. There you go, zero point 0.3 above the long term average. So we appear to, for now, have lost the sort of the extreme anomalous warmth month on month to something a little bit closer to average. But things have turned warmer in the last few days, but not everywhere. These were the temperature anomalies back on Tuesday when down in the southeast, I think we reached 32 degrees. That's 90 degrees Fahrenheit, several degrees above average. But towards the north of the UK, it was still rather cold. And I think some of the overnight temperatures were very close to 0 degrees in the north of Scotland. So, yeah, some huge contrasts across the UK over the last few days. But the heat has been the story down in the south and the southeast, and some of the thunderstorms have been quite dramatic. Yesterday, no exception. Right, the warmth does hold on. These are the current top of the hots. It's only 9 o'clock, or these temperatures were at 9 o'clock this morning. Top of the hots, Manston, 22.5. Manston is in the northeast of Kent, and so the heat or the warmth today will be holding on. It is cooler towards the north, as we've seen the current temperatures up north. 15 degrees is generally the order of the day across Scotland. That's actually a little bit milder than where things have been. Now we'll look at the FACTS chart. So there's your high pressure that's sitting just to the east of the UK over continental Europe. We're still drawing in that warmth off the near continent, but the Atlantic has lots of weather fronts, quite a deep area of low pressure for the time of year, sitting to the south of Iceland, waiting in the Atlantics to freshen things up across the UK over the course of the next couple of days. So today, that's where those weather fronts are sitting across Ireland. But tomorrow, one of those fronts, a cold weather front, will be pushing across England and Wales in the morning, clearing the southeast coast during the afternoon to take away some of that real heat and humidity. So tomorrow, a cloudier day, some patchy rain to clear out the way before things eventually turn drier and brighter. On Sunday, we're in a ridge between two areas of low pressure. So I think in all intents and purposes, Sunday is a dry, fine and bright day. But once again, look out towards the Atlantic. More weather fronts are going to be pushing in. By the time we reach Monday, warmth and sunshine holds on across many parts of England and Wales, particularly further south, but another weather front will be pushing in from the Atlantic later on in the day to bring us a cloudier day on Tuesday with temperatures again a little bit lower. We'll now go over to the ECM. We'll play out how they want to see things turning in over the course of the next. Let's go up to the Monday, the 12th. So that's 10 days. So here we are. This was this morning at 9 o'clock. So drier day, we should say, today for many parts of the UK. But there will still be a few sharp showers down in the far southeast for a time, and towards the west, just note how we're turning wetter, cloudier. Scotland turning quite miserable, as well as that weather front across the west slowly but surely marches eastwards. This is the situation at 9 o'clock tonight. The front sitting across Scotland, down through the spine of the UK, down towards the southwest. That is the harbinger for a rather cloudier day tomorrow. As we've seen, there is that weak cold front. This is 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. It pushes southeastwards across the UK throughout the course of the morning, clearing the southeast by the early afternoon. So, as I've mentioned, a cloudier day tomorrow, but it will be turning somewhat cooler and fresher. Worth mentioning, today's maximum temperatures across Kent will be up to around about 27, 28 degrees. Tomorrow, a cloudier 23 or 24. On Sunday, there's that ridge of high pressure that brings us a generally dry and fine day with more in the way of sunny spells, more cloud and rain towards the northwest of the UK, and that will be pushing eastwards throughout the course of the day. But yeah, Sunday, a fine day for many parts of England and Wales, with temperatures once again getting up to around about 25, 26. 26 is 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Fast forward through to Monday, the high pressure on the near continent holds on for another day. So a dry and fine day for us here in Kent. Plenty of sunshine. Temperatures up a notch, possibly 28. 28 is 82. towards the end of the day, that weather front out towards Ireland will be pushing into Scotland, across towards the west of Wales, and then that pushes eastwards overnight Tuesday. And as we've seen on the facts charts, Tuesday is a rather cloudier day with outbreaks of light rain pushing out of the way by the evening, as we then bring in another spell of fresher westerly winds. Once we get to Wednesday, the situation is set. You've got low pressure to the north of the UK, high pressure to the south. We are in a run of westerly breezes. Showers, always more frequent and heavier further towards the north of the UK, where you're closer to the areas of low pressure. But down towards the south, I think it's probably fair to say that as things stand at the moment, next week isn't looking too bad. Temperatures probably around average, slightly above, so we'll still be seeing daytime maximums in the range of 23 to 25 degrees. So that's just, as I mentioned, just a little bit above average, but a fresher feel, and certainly the nights next week will be cooler. By the time we reach Friday the 9th, so that's a week today, the status quo is maintained. A breezy westerly across the north of the UK, lighter westerly down towards the south of the UK, just the risk of a few showers being sparked off in the afternoon in what will be a rather warm spell of weather. Towards next weekend, things are starting to potentially show signs of warming up again. Some of the models have started to indicate a rebuild in high pressure close to the UK. That will tend to push the jet stream further north. It will mean that many parts of the UK will become drier, particularly towards the north of the UK, as low pressure in the Atlantic tries to push in against a high pressure that is by then starting to draw in some quite warm, potentially hot air into the south of the UK again. So if we just now go to the longer term trends before we bring this all to a close. So these are your 2 metre temperatures at Maidstone. So we see today the temperatures are high. They fall off slightly over the course of the weekend. Time we get to Monday, temperatures start to pick up again. And as we've mentioned, next week, particularly down here in Kent, down in the south, temperatures around about sort of average or slightly above. So rather warm temperatures on most days, getting close to the 25, 26 degree mark. But as we've seen, on around about the 7th, there's going to be that little weather front turns things a little bit cooler. In terms of the longer term outlook, well, there's no real sort of trend being shown at the moment. I noticed right towards the end of the run, we're seeing some higher spikes indicative of perhaps another spell of warmth. But it's worth saying that in this sort of setup, high pressure can set itself up quite quickly and the warmth can push north quite quickly from the continent. So just keep in touch with the forecasts. Quite a few short notice heat waves could still manifest. Right, we'll just finish off by looking at the rain. It is a relatively dry picture, as we've seen a few showers down at Maidstone this afternoon and again tomorrow with that little weather front pushing through. But then next week, apart from that rain that we've mentioned from that front on Tuesday, it's generally dry, save for the odd isolated shower. So it's an improving scene, isn't it? It was quite cool to start the summer. July had its moments, got increasingly hot as we moved towards the end. And I think it's probably fair to say it's a steady as you go August, all fairly reasonable. I hope you found the forecast useful. In the meantime, have a great weekend. That's all I can say. I'll be back again next Friday. Ciao for now.